um, next week on the website, and we will email out the link. So if you think you've missed something, you can listen to it again at another time. Okay. Uh, I just need to share my screen, but there's too many buttons. There we go. Can I get a thumbs up from somebody just if you can see my screen? Okay, perfect. So tonight we're talking about the Provincial Summer Games in June of 2025. What is the Provincial Summer Games? It's our flagship competitive event for 2025. And it's also the qualifying event for the 2026 Special Olympics Canada National Summer Games, which are going to be held in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Um, at the provincial games, we will offer two different streams. So there's the competitive stream, which is where athletes are eligible to go on to the national games. And then the participation stream for those athletes that are too young to qualify to go to national games, because you do have to be 13 years of age as of January the 1st, 2025, to be eligible to go to national games in 2026. So for those athletes that are younger, or for those athletes that just are not interested in being in the competitive stream, we do also offer a participation stream. The exact dates are June the 20th to June 22nd, 2025. Parkland and Norman, you will arrive a day early, so you will arrive Thursday. But for everybody else, the competitions will, or you will arrive on the Friday, and competition for the majority of the sports will start Friday afternoon and go till Sunday. Where are the games happening? The majority of the sports, as well as opening ceremonies, are taking place at the University of Manitoba. So athletics, basketball, bocce, rhythmic gymnastics, powerlifting, soccer, and swim are all taking place at University of Manitoba. Windsor Park Golf Course is home to the golf competition. La Vérendrye Lanes will be home to 10-pin bowling. And Varsity View Community Club is home to softball. The athletes' villages this year, we're using two different hotels. The first athletes' village will be the Delta Hotel, and the Sandman Hotel, Winnipeg Airport, will be the second athletes' village. And then the closing ceremonies will be at the RBC Convention Center. I don't know who will be staying at which hotel yet, and I won't know that until closer to the games. So if that's a question that people have, I can't answer it. It depends on how many athletes and coaches we get from each region. And we do have a contingent coming from Saskatchewan. So once we have all the numbers in, then we'll figure out where, which athletes' village people will be staying in. It is a multi-sport games experience, so we are offering competition in all 10 summer sports. And unlike all of our other competitions, this competition is elevated. It is an opportunity to go on to national games. It is, as I said, a multi-sport event. And it gives athletes an opportunity to watch other sports, especially for those of you that are competing at U of M. Because it's walking distance to most of the sport venues, when you're not competing, you can wander over and watch soccer or track or swimming or whatever. As I said before, athletes need to be 13 years and older to have an opportunity to qualify for the provincial team in 2026. And that, again, as I said, is January 1st of 2025 is the date. Are there any questions yet so far, Alex? I haven't seen any pop up.
There was a quick one asking if
Okay.
all athletes are required to stay at the hotel. I don't know if that might also mean that they want to stay elsewhere.
Okay, I will answer that. Not a problem. Athletes who are not in the participation stream, so they're not in the competitive stream, are not required to stay at the hotel. They can stay at home. They can stay with a family or a friend. They're welcome to stay off-site. That's not a problem. But to be in the competitive stream, you must stay in the hotel.
Even if
Okay,
they live in Winnipeg.
even if they live in Winnipeg. The reason for that is we need to know if you're in the competitive stream and you qualify to go to nationals, we need to know that these athletes are capable of staying in a hotel room with another athlete for a minimum of the weekends, because when we go to national games, they're staying with another athlete for a week. So that's part of the process is knowing that the athlete is capable of staying with somebody else in a room for that duration. Okay. So who's involved in the games? Athletes, coaches, mission staff, family and friends, community members, sponsors. As I mentioned, Saskatchewan Special Olympics athletes and coaches. There will be about 70 people from Saskatchewan coming, so that's huge. Service providers, the regions, all of the Special Olympics Manitoba staff will be involved in the games, volunteers, our sport partners, and board members. Our sport partners are huge in this event as we get most of our officials through our sport partners. Other sport partners are like the University of Manitoba, Varsity View Community Club, Windsor Park Golf Course, La Vérendrye Lanes. They're all sport partners in this as well. Now, to go to provincial games, there are qualifying events. The only requirement is that you attend the event. Okay. You don't have to get a certain score. You don't have to win first, second, or third to go on. You just need to attend the event. Okay. So golf, soccer, and softball have already happened. They were the 10th of August in not 20,204. Sorry, that's a typo. And Rachel caught that and I forgot to fix that. So they happened in August. Bocce also happened in August. Swim will be March the 8th in Brandon. Athletics will be the indoor track meet on April 5th. 10-pin bowling will be Saturday, April the 12th in Winnipeg. Basketball is Saturday, April 26th in Winnipeg, and rhythmic gymnastics is Sunday, May the 4th in Winnipeg. Powerlifting, we're working with our powerlifting coach and Powerlifting Manitoba to secure one of their competitions that will be the qualifying meet. So once that's determined, we will let all the powerlifters know which one has been selected. And again, as I said, you just need to attend these competitions. Now, the regional teams, as always, are made up of coaches, athletes, chaperones for those athletes that are not able to come by themselves but still want to be involved. Chaperones are quite welcome. Those athletes would be in the participation stream, but they're definitely welcome to come. Caddies, all of our golfers will have caddies with them. Each team will also have a chef de mission and a team manager, and those are volunteer positions that can be applied for up until the 18th of this month. And we have had quite a few applications, but I'd love to see some more. So once all of the applications are in, we will be doing interviews and letting the successful candidates know who they are. Okay. As well, new this year, each team will have an athlete ambassador. And along with the chef de mission and team manager, that athlete ambassador will help out the team with logistics, They'll help promote the games prior to the games. They might help with fundraising, lots of different things. But that athlete will travel with the team, stay in the athletes' village, and be there to cheer on other athletes. Ideally, that athlete is a winter sport athlete who's not competing at the summer games, because it's really hard to be there to support your team if you're also competing. But that's not to say that if we don't have anybody that is just a winter sport athlete, we won't accept summer sport athletes as well. So though that opportunity to apply for a athlete ambassador for each region is also open until the 18th of this month. Okay, and we have had quite a few applications, which is very exciting. Is there any more questions, Alex?
A couple more.
Okay.
One is on like the rooming. Who would athletes be rooming with? Someone from their team, or will it be
Okay, we'll get into that in just a second when I talk about registration.
okay. How many athletes per room?
Two.
Two. And maybe I don't know if you'll go over this later, but how many sports can an athlete participate in during the provincial summer games?
Okay, we'll talk about that one right now. Athletes can only participate in one sport, and the reason for that is you can't be in multiple places at once. Okay, you need to decide which sport you're competing in, and that's the sport that you will compete in at games. It's just not possible to compete in more than one sport. And you can't compete in more than one sport if you're selected to go to nationals, it's a one sport event as well. So, okay.
Um,
Registration. Oh, sorry, Alex.
yeah, just someone asked about if there are any fees and
Okay, we'll get into that.
okay, and spectator space, but
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a
okay.
second. So registration is earlier this year. It is going to be due January 31st of 2025. And at that time, coaches will need to submit athletes' names, coaches' names, chaperones and caddies' names, as well as their rooming lists. We don't need times or distances for any events. I don't need rhythmics entry, like levels, any of that. We just need to know who is coming. And the reason for this is we need to give the hotels a firm number in February. So if I don't have this by the end of January, we can't give the hotels a firm number, and we may end up not having enough rooms, or we may end up having more than we need and get stuck paying for them, which just adds to costs, right? So at January 31st, and the registration link was sent out the first week of September. And it will be on the Provincial Games page on our website. If it's not already there, I will get Melissa to put it up next week. And it's all done electronically. Okay. Any more questions about registration? We'll talk about fees in a second.
Yeah, do you register by sport?
Yes. So you register by program. So each head coach will do their own registration. And it's the same registration form for everybody. You will pick your region, then you will pick your sport, and then you will put in all of the athlete information, all of the coach information. There's a section in there for medical information. So you need to know that when you're doing your registration. The registration information is exactly the same it's been in the past. It's just done electronically. In the information package that was emailed out to all head coaches and regional leaders, it included a list of what you need to include when you do your registration. And I can send that out again next week so that everybody has it. And then if there's any questions, feel free to email me. The rooming list that was part of that is actually an Excel spreadsheet and it's attached to the email that was sent out. So you just need to fill it in and then send it back. Okay. Registration fees. There are no registration fees this year. This is something new. What we are asking, though, of all the athletes is that you help us with fundraising. So we're asking you, athletes, to do your best to raise $250 an athlete. Okay. We're expecting 500 people at these games at a cost of $652 per person. So asking people to raise $250 is not a whole lot. If you know somebody who's willing to sponsor you, they can have a tax receipt. It's a win-win. Okay. Is there any questions about that, Alex?
Not about the registration fee,
Okay.
but more so about seeing your athletes, because some coaches might not see their athletes well into the new year, and wondering how they would communicate that.
Phone calls, emails. If you're the reason we sent this out early, an email was sent out to all head coaches back in June explaining that registration would be due at the end of January and why we needed it. Excuse me. So if you're not going to see your athletes, you will need to phone them or email them, talk to them and find out what they want to do. Okay. I know that some of the sports are done until the spring, but we really need to know who's coming by the end of January. Okay. Now, sorry, let me go back to this. We are putting together a toolkit for athletes to use to help with fundraising. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just athletes. It could be a club decides to do something to help fundraise. It could be a region wants to put on a fundraiser. There's lots of different ways. We are going to be setting it up online so people can access it and make donations to specific athletes if they want, or just to a region, or just to the games in general. So there's lots of different ways. We will send the toolkit out when it's ready. It won't likely come out until the beginning of November. Okay. So in the meantime, just be patient. But if you have questions, you can reach out to us. Are there more questions, Alex?
Just a couple. So one was two around fundraising.
Okay.
You fundraise on behalf of
Yep.
yourself. Yep. And so for
Yep.
families and athletes with like multiple athletes in them, what are we saying about reaching a $500 limit? Is that like some people may not be able to do that?
It's $250 per athlete.
Right. Okay.
$250 per athlete. Any other questions? I'm going to
Um,
stop sharing this.
something about health information if we already have it on file.
We do need it filled out for the games, even if it is on file. And it's so that all of that information can be shared with the medical staff on site. It's a very simple questionnaire. It's not as detailed as they have put in the past in their detailed information.
And will this slideshow also be on the email? Like
It's part of the recording, so yes, you
okay.
will see it.
Okay, perfect. Registration forms have been sent out, right? Head
Registration is
coach.
being sent to head coaches. Athletes, you need to talk to your head coach to register. Um, it's the coaches who do the registration, not the individual athletes.
Uh, where can coaches find the questionnaire?
The medical questionnaire,
Potentially, yeah.
it's part of the registration.
Okay.
It's it's part of the registration package.
Is there a maximum age for athletes to compete or
No,
be?
there's no maximum age, but the minimum age is 13.
Gotcha.
Just looking. Do you fundraise on behalf of a specific athlete? As I said, you can do that on, it can be a specific athlete, it could be to a region. If an athlete specifically raises, say they raise $500 for one athlete, the rest will just go to the pot. Okay, it's not, we're just asking athletes to try and raise a minimum of 250. If you can raise more, wonderful. We appreciate that because it's an expensive venture to put on provincial games.
I don't know if you see this one, but if an athlete cannot raise the 250,
Then we'll take a look at what else has been raised in the region. Nobody's going to be turned away, but we are asking that people do their best to try and raise it by the 1st of April. I didn't say that before, but the 1st of April. And then we'll take a look at where fundraising is at. Okay.
there's one more. I can't really.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, like there's
There's
no
no
fees.
no fees for parents, for spectators, and there is spectator space to watch all of the sports.
How about adults with disabilities can do in the sports? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure this wording out.
Okay.
Can a sponsor have their logo on the SOM clothing?
Not on competitive attire, no.
Okay.
That's the Special Olympics international rule. Sponsors' logos cannot appear on any competitive clothing, unfortunately. Yes, athletes can be younger than 13 to go to the games, to the provincial games. They need to be a minimum of 8. They're just not eligible to go on to national games. And we totally understand that an 8-year-old is probably not going to want to stay in a hotel with another athlete. So that's where a chaperone would come. And that would be a parent or an older sibling or whoever that chaperone is. Chaperones do not pay, no. Athletes can only do one sport at the games. Okay. So no, you can't do multiple sports. You can only compete in one. Any other questions from anybody? Rachel, is there anything you want to add?
Oh, there's a question about athletics.
Oh,
How many events
okay.
the athlete can compete in?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I apologize. It is in the technical package.
Yeah.
And those will be on the, thank you, Ian Cook. 5. I wanted to say 5, but I didn't want to lie. 5-pin bowling is not a summer sport. 5-pin bowling is a winter sport, so we will not compete 5-pin bowling. 10-pin bowling will be at summer games. Relays are optional. Sorry, Rachel, did you want to add anything?
Sorry, it took a technical minute there to unmute me. I think you have one
No
more
worries.
question.
Pardon?
I think you have one more question. I'll wait till you can answer them all.
Swimming is also 5 maximum. For the what to wear, competitive attire will be talked about with your coaches. Each member of each regional team will be given a team shirt to wear for opening ceremonies. The pentathlon will be at the games, yes. For team sports, everybody on the team, for a team to be competitive, has to be in the competitive stream. Okay, so for example, if you have one athlete who wants to be in the participation stream on a softball team, the whole team is considered non-competitive or participation stream. Rachel, I'll let you speak. I'm going to read these questions and then I'll answer them.
Sure. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. I wish you all the best as you train for the games. For those of you that have already competed, keep up the hard work. If you have any other questions, if they don't come to you today, please reach out to Alex, Colleen, or myself. We'll be happy to answer them. But really, just thank you for coming tonight, and we're here to answer your questions. So don't feel pressure to do it now. You can always email us, but all the best in your training.
2 more questions in here. 10,000 meters in track. Yes, it has been included. So hopefully we get some entrance in that. And the national team athletes are selected based on results from provincial games. The technical packages will be on the website, hopefully in the next week. Oh, we have 2 10,000 meters. Yay, I like it. Okay. If there are no more questions, I am going to say thank you, everybody. If you think of any questions after we've done this call, please feel free to shoot me an email. I will have to be happy to answer those at any time. So I can register 2 teams, 1. Yes, absolutely. You can, if you've got 2 teams, 2 soccer teams or 2 softball teams, one's competitive, one's non-competitive, absolutely not a problem. They will all compete in the same competition. It's just that they're not eligible to go on to the national games. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. I am looking forward to seeing everybody at Provincial Games, if not sooner, at the qualifying events, hopefully. So thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. And like I said, this recording will be available. Give us till next week to get it downloaded, and I will send it out to everybody who is registered, and we'll get it on the website as well.